Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd, a podcast all about getting shit done, hopefully in an elegant way that doesn't leave you too broken. In our crazy worlds, we're all about balancing the need to work enough to make ends meet, enough not to annoy our bosses, but also enough that we feel like we've done enough, which can be a whole different psychological and emotional ballgame, along with the human need to rest and stay well. Plus, on top of that, we'd quite like to enjoy ourselves, maybe just a little bit along the way, spending quality time with those we love. I, for one, love hearing about how people get that balance and work more efficiently so they have more time to do the things that they love. Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd. I'm your host, Kathy Soulsby. This is a mini pod, a teeny tiny pod that could have been a blog if you wanted to use your eyes and not your ears. The unofficial podcast title for this one is This Meeting Could Have Been an Email. Because let's be honest, somewhere out there right now, someone is in a meeting that could have been an email or a Slack message or a WhatsApp voice note at a push, but don't push me on that because I'm not a fan. But we've all sat in those meetings questioning our life choices, right? And today we're going to tackle how to make meetings actually productive, not just tolerable, not shorter, but genuinely useful, collaborative, decision-driving machines. And you may remember episode 36 with Claire Stiven, in which we looked at meeting prep. That is a really good combo to this if you want to go and check that out. But if not, here is the super quick, nerdy take on all things meetings. So, step number 1, ask the sacred question. Before you even book that meeting, ask yourself, what is the outcome I need from this conversation? If you can't clearly state what decision needs to be made or what information needs to be shared or what input you're after, then probably don't organise the meeting. Maybe it's writing an update, maybe it's making a Loom video, maybe it's training a pigeon to send to that person who doesn't seem to ever open emails. Just perhaps don't book that half an hour slot in their diary. And number 2, the obvious one, have an agenda. Yeah, no, really, I know, but having an agenda is crucial. It's not a nice to have. It is the glue that holds the whole thing together, right? Even better, having an agenda with a time box. So, 5 minutes on marketing, decision on budget 10 minutes, action items 3 minutes. Think of it like a meeting sandwich, right? The bread is the kind of intro and the outcome, and then the filling is the discussion bit, and then you've got another slice of bread, which is the summary and the next steps, all working together to create the perfect whole. And step 3, start on time, end on time, maybe be a bit ruthless. If one person shows up late, that's 5 minutes of multiplied wasted time if 5 people are waiting. That's 25 people minutes. And yes, I'm do the maths like that because I am that kind of nerd, even though I'm dreadful at maths. Even I can muster 5 times 5. But meetings that start late also tend to end late. And you know what that does? It eats into the time you need to do the work or the next meeting or the time available to go and get a glass of water and breathe for a sec. No one wants to see the doctor on the last appointment of the day for a very good reason, because we all know that appointment that ran 2 minutes late, the next one that ran a minute late, by the time you get to 4 o'clock, there's a 40-minute lag and you're sat in that waiting room forever. Now, hopefully, meetings aren't quite like that, but it's a knock-on effect somewhere, right, if things run late. And step number 4, who really needs to be there? So Amazon has a 2 pizza rule, which is only as many as 2 pizzas can feed. Personally, I think that's bonkers. I mean, wildly open to interpretation, right? How big is the pizza? Is it Pizza Express pizza that I swear to God shrink? Like they're nowhere near the size they were in the 90s, are they? Right? Or is it like a Supreme Domino's stuffed crust? How much does one person eat? Is there like a rule on how much one person eats? Because, some people might very politely have 2 slices, but if you're peckish, you might have 4. I don't know. Anyway, maybe people don't like pizza. Maybe they want salad. It's a bit of a minefield. I'm not sure that's the answer, right? But I get the point. The intent is there. Surely just give it a bloody number, right? Seems mental to organise it by an arbitrary food thing. But yeah, Amazon are doing all right without my advice so far, I think. I think they can carry on without me and my input on their plans. But anyway, I prefer a bit like one decision and one input method. So invite the people who need to contribute, but don't drag in like half a dozen people who are just going to be there to listen. No one has time to just, cruise through a meeting. Either you're there because you have an input, or you're making the decision, or you've got background information, right? You've got to have a reason to be there. And step number 5, clarify the outcomes and the actions. This is the one that separates the grown-ups from the, not grown-ups. Don't end that meeting until you know what's been decided and it's been, written down in whatever form of writing down that looks like, whether that's an AI or a piece of paper, doesn't matter. Who's doing what and when it's got to be done by. If no one leaves with a task or decision, then, is anything happening? Really? Is it just a nice get together? I mean, and there are some meetings that are just nice get togethers, but in your own personal heart, you might have an outcome which is, I must talk to so and so because they're actually really nice, but come away with a task. Step 6, confirm that the actions are actually completed. The meeting may end at 11 o'clock, but the meeting doesn't really end until all the actions are done. So is there a mechanism for making sure that that actually happens, that there is follow through? That might be a task list, might be an email update, might be a review of the actions at the next meeting. I mean, I know this can feel a bit name and shame because there's always somebody, isn't there, who hasn't done their actions. As an EA, I have sat in many a board meeting, and I can tell you there will always be that one person who will kind of go, oh, I've been a bit busy, I'll do it next time. Right? There's always one. But the action list of shame is there for a reason. Once it's written down, actions need to not just vanish, but actually be done, because that's kind of the point, right? And as a bonus little nerd tip, how about office hours? I don't know if anyone's come across this before. It's the old equivalent. My uni professor used to do it with, probably knowing him, whiskey and a border collie. But you have a sign on the door that says between X time and X time, knock and I'm around for any questions. This is a virtual version of that. Or I guess you could do it in person if you're an in-person kind of person. Quite a lot of people. Sorry, too many people. But the virtual version of that is you put in your diary for your team or whoever it may be, a collection of people. You put in your diary a Zoom link that is unique to that meeting, and you use the waiting room. So people know that they can drop in on you. It's in your diary, it's in their diary. If you've got any questions, come and see me every Wednesday between 3 and 4. And you use the waiting room in Zoom or Teams if you have to manage that there's only one person at a time. And while somebody's in that waiting room or a couple of people are there, they can still be working, right? They're just sort of hovering, wait until you're free. It's a good way of people accessing you when they need a quick answer for something, and you don't need a whole meeting for it. You just need a minute, but it's controlled, it's not chaotic, it doesn't clog up your diary or your inbox. And yeah, it's just a nice way of looking at it. Worth a try. Drop in or office hours, depending on what you want to call it. So, super quick recap of our plan for amazing meetings. Number 1, know your outcome. Number 2, have an agenda. Number 3, be really ruthless with your time. 4, invite only people that matter. 5, leave with some actions. 6, actually do the actions or make sure that they are done. And meetings can be magic, right? But only if they're intentional. Otherwise, they are just expensive group therapy, hopefully with some decent snacks. Thanks for joining me, fellow nerds. Remember, every minute in a meeting is a minute you're not making progress elsewhere. You need to try saying that. It's quite the tongue twister. It's taken me 17 goes. So be the meeting gatekeeper. Your future self will thank you for it. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay productive, and never schedule a meeting without a purpose. Thanks for listening.